This then is the instructional video on how to use the pages and spreads for InDesign.
In this assignment, second to the last in this class, we will learn how to set up master pages and apply them to multi-page spreads. We will also learn how to create containers for paragraph length copy and thread that copy into multi-page layouts. How to reconfigure text, add space between paragraphs, and eliminate hyphenation. This will prepare you for the final assignment, which is to compose a portfolio of your work for this class into a multi-page layout in InDesign. First, let's have a look at how I have the materials arranged for doing this assignment. Here's how it looks on my peripheral drive. You can see that I have folders that contain the Word document manifesto, my logo, my selfie, and my watermark page, all ready to add to my InDesign document. So the first thing that we're going to do is to create a new document in InDesign and set it up with the following assets from the beginning. It will consist of 3 pages set in inches at 8.5 by 11 portrait. Check the facing pages box. Under margins, make sure you have 0.5 inch margins, and under bleed, set the bleed to 0.125. When your document opens, it will look like this. On the far right are your pages panels. At the top are your master pages, and below that, where the first page is highlighted, are your main pages, which is what I am in right now. The first thing I want you to do is to go up to the master pages and, using the icon in the lower right of your pages panel, create another set of master pages. Your screen should look like this, with the addition of the new B master pages in the upper right of the pages panel. Right-click on the A master page and select the Master Options for A Master, which will open this dialog box. A master pages will be renamed A using styles. Now click OK. Right-click on the B master page and do the same. Open the dialog box and rename the B master page to B using styles. Then click OK. Now select your A master page and go to File, Place. Go into your peripheral drive and locate the watermark page that we created in Assignment 17.1. To do this, you will have to have completed your logo in assignment number 15. Here I have it in my assignment 17 file. It is a Photoshop document that measures 8.5 by 11 inches. When you click, it will appear to float around the screen linked to your cursor until you click and apply it. Drag it into position on the left-hand side of your A master page. With it highlighted, go to Edit Copy and Edit Paste to create a new copy of it on the A master page. Move it into position on the right-hand page. Now, select your Type tool and in the lower left corner of your A master page, type the letter A. It may simply default to that no matter what you type. With the letter highlighted, or if it isn't using your Type tool, drag back over it to highlight it and then go to Type, Font, and for this assignment select Arial Bold. Go to Type, Size, 18 point. Here on the slide you can see the increase in size of the character. Now we are going to select this character and use it to establish permanent page numbers to all of our pages going forward. To do this, with the character still highlighted, go to Type, Insert Special Character, Markers, Current Page Number, or as the keyboard shortcut shows, Command plus Option plus Shift plus N. My view here is to show a PC command, which is Control plus Alt plus Shift plus N. This character will now stand in on your master page as the current page number. Whenever you apply this A master page, it will keep track of the page numbering for you. Now we need to duplicate this character and move it to the opposite page. With it highlighted, go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, and you will likely see it appear in the middle of your screen. Drag it into position at the far right lower corner of the opposite page. Now I will click on my main page part of the Pages panel and then double click on the left hand page to open the main pages in the screen. If you look closely, you will notice that the letter A has been replaced in this view by the number 2 and on the opposite page as number 3. Also, if you look at the main page layout, you will see little A's on each of the pages. This is because the attributes of the A master page layout is being applied to the pages in the main page layout. So far, so good. This will make more sense as we continue. Now we are going to do the same for the B master pages. Apply the watermark pages to the spread and apply the same special character to the B master pages left and right. I have discovered that if you're careful and simply copy the attributes out of the A master page and then open the B master page and do a paste function, everything auto applies, including the inclusion of the instructions for the special character, without having to go through the type pull down function. Now go down to your main page spread in the Pages panel and click on the right side page, page 3. This will ensure that what you are going to do next will be applied to the main pages and not to the master pages. Now, using the icon at the lower right hand corner of the Pages panel, click to add 2 additional pages. Your screen should now look like this. Now return to the A master pages at the top of your Pages panel. Click and highlight the left hand page. Open a container, and in that container create a header that will contain your name, company name if applicable, address, city and state, zip, a phone number, and a rule line. This will now be a permanent part of the A master left hand page attribute. If we return to the main page spreads, we can see that this has been applied to page 2. However, it has also been applied to page 4, which is not what we want. If page 2 is to be our intro page in the document, we only want that to appear once. To change this, we will click off from page 2 and 3 in the main pages, click on page 4 in the main pages, and then click on the B master left-hand page. You will now notice that there is a small b on the main page left-hand page, which means that the B master attributes have been applied to it. We will do the same for the right-hand page. Notice that because we included the special character in the B master page attributes, that it is also keeping track of the page numbering. Now we need to change the cover page. Even though it is nice that the A master is keeping track of the page numbers, covers are not often numbered. In this case, it will be blank, to which we can apply 3 other things. Select the page in the main page panel and apply the None page to it from the master page portion at the very top. The first page will now appear blank. Now we are going to add some things to this cover page. First, we will place an image of yourself, the selfie that you took for assignment number 2 in this class. Here I have gone to my assignment 17 folder and located my selfie. Here I have clicked back on the main page and inserted it. It's a bit large. Just like when we applied our logo to the business card, I can hold down my Shift plus Command plus Option, and this will constrain and center my image as I reduce it in size. Here I have also gone ahead and added my name and my logo to the cover page, which are the 3 things that I want you to place on it. Notice that I am working in the main pages portion of the Pages panel, not on the master pages. We are now ready to add a text panel to page 2 of our main pages. This will be a copy and paste operation out of a Word document which I will supply to you here in Canvas. It is a copy of the Certified D Design Manifesto. A manifesto is a statement or declaration of intent. This one applies to design and designers. Here, using my type tool, I have opened a container on page 2. I then go back to my Assignment 17 folder and find the Word document that contains the manifesto. Here I have opened it in Word. I have highlighted the text and copied it. Returning to my InDesign document and with my text cursor positioned in the upper left of the container, I will hit Paste from the Edit Paste pull-down or use the keyboard shortcut Command V. And the text gets applied to the container. However, if we look closely, it doesn't appear to all be there. It is also hyphenated. That is where words have run longer than the container. InDesign has hyphenated them to the next line of text. Sometimes this is acceptable, but most times it makes reading text very awkward. And if I zoom in here, the container highlighted, you will notice a small box that appears at the lower right corner of the container with a red plus sign in it. This is InDesign notifying you that there is more text than will appear in the text box. What are we going to do about it is called text threading. If you take your cursor and place it on the selection tool and then back on this small square, you will notice the small representation of copy that suddenly appears to follow your cursor. This is the remaining copy which now needs to be applied to the next page. Going to the top of the next page, page 3, and by clicking in the upper left corner of page 3, a new container will appear on page 3 that is the same width as the container on page 2, but only long enough to hold the extra copy that couldn't be placed on page 2. Now the copy is pretty small and we need to do something about that, but first we are going to change the font. So beginning on page 3, using your text tool, drag over the copy and onto page 2 until you have it all highlighted. And for this assignment, go to Type, Font, Arial, Bold. That will change the font in all of the text boxes. Next, with the copy still highlighted, go to Text, Size, and change the type size from 12 to 18 point. Now the copy fills both pages 2 and 3. If you look at the bottom of page 3, you will notice that we again have a small overfill box, meaning that we need to thread copy onto page 4. So again, change your cursor to the selection tool and click on the overfill box. Collect the overrun copy and click at the top of page 4 to apply it. Now we have copy on 3 of the 4 pages. We are now going to need to do some editing and paragraph styles in the document, like centering the headline text Certified D Manifesto. But where are the icons that let me center text at? Well, in order to get at those, we have to go up to the taskbar where it reads Essentials, upper right-hand corner. I want to use the pull-down to change that to Typography. You will now notice that your taskbar at the top of the screen has expanded, and at the far left top of the screen you can see the icons representing the paragraph text positioning images. With the headline still highlighted, go to the center text icon. Click Center Alignment and move the text to the center. With it still highlighted, we will change the size of the text from 18 point, like the body copy, to 24 point. We might also do something like underline it if we wanted. Here, I have zoomed in to show you what I want you to do next. I want you to add spacing below the next line down and the first numbered section. I also want you to add a parenthesis after the number 1 and capitalize the first letter from a lowercase b to an uppercase. Now drop a line at the end of that line of text and provide a space to Article 2 and then do the same. Keep doing this all the way down through the manifesto, adding spaces between each article and adding the parentheses after the number and capitalizing the first letter of that article. Each time you add a space, watch the copy on the right-hand page. It will move. It continues to move down and onto page 4, and ultimately page 5. Now, when that is all done, we are going to eliminate all of the hyphenation in one operation. To do this, with your text tool, place your cursor in the middle of the copy on page 2, and now click Command A, which highlights all of the text in the entire document. Now go to Windows Type and Tables, Paragraph, and this dialog box will open. In the lower left of the box, you can see a checkbox marked Hyphenate. If you uncheck this box, notice what happens to the lines of text. They all move and the hyphens disappear. Of course, this causes the lines of text to move down again, so move to page 5 to make sure that there is still space. Pages 2 and 3 look fine, and so do pages 4 and 5. Drop out to the more global view and hit W and go to Preview. Looks like you're done. This is how you would put type into an InDesign document. This is only a 5-page spread, but the same applies if you're doing a book with multiple chapters. Using the master pages and the typography tools, it would make translating a short story or a book very easy. There are, of course, many other things that InDesign can do, like text wrapping around images in the document, but that's for a later class in the design curriculum. All for now. Be sure to submit this to Canvas.